We'll call this wonderful meeting of the Board of Directors for the Corporation for Public Benefit to administer the Nevada Youth Legislature, as we call it, the NYL Board, to order. And this is the first meeting of the 2025-2026 interim. Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Gail Anderson. Zana Kudalim.
Present.
Senator Scheibel.
Here.
Senator Steinbeck.
Here.
Assemblymember Torres Fawcett. Joyce Woodhouse. Chair Wiener.
Present. We do have enough members to do business and carry on some voting, and this always makes me happy. I'm very grateful, and I want to share my gratitude and welcome the reappointed members. Some are not able to be with us today, but that is former Senator Joyce Woodhouse, Senator Melanie Scheibel, Assemblymember Selena Torres Fawcett, Dr. Zan Okudalim, and it is also a privilege to welcome to our board the new members, Senator John Steinbeck and Gail Anderson. And thank you for honoring us with your interest in working together for the benefit of the Nevada Youth Legislature. We appreciate the importance of each board member's contributions and what you bring with your background and your wisdom and your insight. So it just grows this program even bigger as we grow the youth legislature, gathering by gathering, meeting by meeting, training by training. So this is why we knew there was value in sending a packet of information to everyone prior to the board meeting that you should have received that gives background to the work that we've done and the program and who's in the program. And so we wanted to kind of get everybody up to speed, and it's easy to forget as well. So it was important that we shared some common starting information to move forward with this board as we move into the new year. And I want to thank Tina Ashdown, who is our program facilitator, and Timothy Gibbs, who is our policy assistant, for putting that together. Thank you so very much for your service to the NYL board. As we move forward into agenda item number 2, we'll move into public comment. And at this time, we'll open the meeting to the public for any questions or comments that they may want to share with us, help us grow even more dutiful in the work that we do. Do we have anyone in the north?
There's no one in the room up here, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. We don't see anyone in the south. Is there anyone on the telephone?
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. We have no callers at this time.
Thank you very much. And yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. John Steinbeck. I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be on the board, and it's an honor to serve.
Oh, wow. Lovely way to start. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And we'll move on to agenda item number 3. And this is the approval of the minutes for the meetings. And we have 2 meetings that we need to approve the minutes. We have the minutes from April 10th, 2024. And this is because we're in the last board meeting, we did not have a majority present, so we were not able to take a vote. And so the April 10th, 2024 meeting, I would accept a motion to approve the minutes of that meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion from Senator Scheibel. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Senator Steinbeck. Do we have any discussion, questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? Please note unanimous support among the members present. Now we will vote on the minutes from January 9th, 2025. I would accept a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion from Senator Scheibel. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Senator Steinbeck. Do we have any discussion, questions, or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Please note unanimous support among members present. We'll now move on to agenda item number 4, and this is my report regarding the activities of the program. And I decided to do this in a way, it's kind of interesting because it's part of 2 cohorts, so it's kind of the end of one and the beginning of the other. So let me walk through the final semester of 2023-2025. And in January, we had the gathering, January 8th. We did not have the gathering in Northern Nevada due to scheduling conflicts, and against an optional activity they are not required to attend. However, the next day here, we had a magnificent gathering event, kind of like today, large attendance. And in the second year, so I'm going backwards here, but this is how it occurs on this particular meeting. In the second gathering in their term. So this was the first gathering they'll experience. This was the second gathering of that cohort. Today they learned how to introduce themselves and learn subjects of interest and share memorable conversation points. Next year for the gathering, they will, as they did here, they will learn how to advocate for the NYL bill in a social conversation with and advocate so that they learn advocacy skills in a more casual environment. So on the 14th of January, we finalized the language for the NYL bill proposal. And again, the process is that they start with 21, one each youth legislator. They testify and present that in September. And then that is narrowed down through voting to 7. So in October, they voted on 7 to get it down to 2. So in November, the final 2, and we had actual legislative hearings on those. And so this, again, for this cohort, we had the finalization of the language and the approval of the bill that they had chosen in November. One thing that we added to the experience, because one of the challenges that we sometimes have is that each one of them brings a proposal, and one of them is going to be selected. So 20, we encourage, please. Senator Scheibel has done this for youth legislators and had great success. And you did it for someone who wasn't your youth legislator. Yeah. So we encourage them to go to their legislators or a legislator who's interested in their subject of their proposal and introduce it. And so we've actually historically, Tina, if I'm not, I think we're one bill ahead of legislator introduced legislation, the success of that versus the NYL bill. I think with now the individual introductions have surpassed. What we did this time, and it was really a wonderful experience, is we reframed that finalization of the language, and to create a greater interest among the body for taking ownership of the bill, we allowed for 7 amendments to it as offered by the youth legislators, where they might want to see something a little different in the bill that was going forward because it wasn't theirs, but they want to tweak it. So we had 7 proposed amendments. We said up to 7, but we had 7. A proponent spoke, and then someone who opposed it spoke. And then at the end of all the 7 proposals, then we voted one at a time. 3 of those amendments were included in the bill language. So the intention was to be fully engaging, and that the entire NYL felt that it was their bill and not picking one youth legislator's bill that they would move forward, that they had a voice in the measure that moved forward. So we're going to refine it more and more. It was very, very inclusionary and a lovely way for them to engage in a way that they didn't know they had the opportunity to do. So anyway, that really worked well. March 5th, we had NYL Day at the legislature in Carson City. The proposal from the NYL became Senate Bill 254. And so the youth legislators sat with their senators on the floor and were recognized. It was a lovely, lovely experience. Each one was introduced by their own senator. And then they went to the Committee on Education, where they presented the measure to the committee. And our youth legislator, whose proposal it was the person at the table for it. And she was there about an hour, as I recall, and did a great job. Anyway, the bill did pass the committee, And then it was re-referred to finance in the Senate, and that's where it stayed till the end of session. So it did not move through to the governor. However, we did have youth legislator Sitara Riganti, whose measure was not selected, found a member of the assembly, Assembly Member Hanson, who is not her assembly member, who did on her behalf introduce Assembly Bill 167, which was her proposal in the NYL, which revises provisions relating to the use of corrective room restriction. And that did become law. So again, we strongly encourage them, and Senator Scheibel can give hours of testimonial about her experience doing this, and she became a very strong advocate for the measures, because you did it, the same measure twice. Mm-hmm. You were improving upon, because it was very successful the first time. So anyway, that takes us up to April 16th, as we do the end of each year of the 2-year term. We have a virtual conversation, which is optional, and the youth legislators in advance all of them receive kind of a survey, a summary of the year of the trainings and different activities, and then they rank them or score them so that we get their feedback. We are very much in a collaborative relationship with the youth legislators, and then we discuss. They give us feedback, but substantial input to growing the program more successfully, because we're getting that information from those who've just gone through it and what worked and what didn't. So a lot of the big things that we've done, it's because we're better listeners than talkers, and we've grown amazing new ideas through their planted seeds. So they know they're part of it. And then May 30th, as is required in statute, we've just grown this idea over the last couple of years. Sometimes we have an annual report that is due to the governor that is written by the chair. So the chair of the second year of the youth legislature knows, both years the chairs have to deliver a report. We give them copies of similar years, at least 2 similar years in history, so they can see how it looks. And then they create their forward, and then they write the report. And they write distinctively different reports. They have different styles and different things and I take it upon myself to edit to make sure we're accurate and clean and everything. And we work with staff, Tina and everybody, Tina Ashdown, to ensure that we maintain the right standards and qualities coming out of the legislature. So the law requires that it's delivered to the governor by the end of May. And what's happened, it's a lovely evolution, that now sometimes it used to be Tina would run it, Mrs. Ashdown would run it over to the governor's office, so we would make deadline. Run it over there and just leave it kind of, but make sure it's delivered to his office, the governor's office. And now we put a committee together of current youth legislators. Sometimes we have alums who do it. I think, have you gone once or twice too? You go every time. I know you shared it with me. I just didn't know if you went. But so there's a committee that delivers. They make an appointment. They have a conversation with the governor, and they've been very receptive and want to learn more about the program. It's just lovely that this conversation can take place, and the teams are always happy to be able to be part of that. But I know we've had alums come over to help deliver it too. So that's not required. That's now become part of the tradition of the program. So now we're into this group that you had the opportunity to visit with today, the 2025-2027 term, and this is their first semester. So it's basically the first semester of 4 that they will share with us. We had inaugural training, because for the first year we do a 1-day training called the inaugural training, and that was a gift of if there is a gift of pandemic demands on how we do things. And so before that, we would have a 2-day training in Carson City, and then a 1-day training in the midterm. And this makes so much more sense. I said, oh my gosh, it took this to make us realize. So now we do an inaugural training for 1 day here, the very first training. And that's where they get the foundation of the program. They learn the root system for the youth legislature, and they learn about open meeting laws, and they learn about meetings versus trainings, and they just get the nuts and bolts of how the program works. And they also learn how Tina and I, Ms. Ashdown and I, what our jobs are and how we work together. And that's probably one of the most productive things at lunch, that they get to ask us questions about what we do and how we do it. And it starts with that I'm a legislative appointee and she is employed by the legislature as a staff member. I mean, they see us talking and working, but we've never explained the distinction between our roles. And so it really helps them when they get communications from one of us, that they understand in what role we're sending it and how we're communicating. And you saw today how we trade it off. You know, we bounce off each other and collaborate, because they need to see the relationship between the appointees and the staff that's there full time. So, and we work all the time, year round. And so they also learned about the history of the program and other things during the inaugural training, got to know each other. August 23rd was an outside assignment. In addition to their trainings, they do in this room half days. The first year it's half day every month during the school year, pretty much every month. We do have months they don't. We also have outside assignments that complement. So sometimes these have evolved, and some have, like this first one, based on my personal and professional experience, you need to know how to talk to people and answer questions. So the first assignment is 3 questions that you might be asked about your role, and answer them. And then they have to submit all outside assignments, and they know to Ms. Ashdown, to their legislators, and to me. And then I evaluate and make suggestions and help elevate their experience for every assignment and send it off to them. But the first one was communicating with the legislators. This was the very first one. The other one was due a little bit later. This one, we wanted, again, the relationship building. The relationship building needs to start early. And so they did have a template to work with on how to reach out to their legislators and tell them who they are, a little bit about who they are, and what the program means to them, or what they learned during the training, the first training, and how eager they are to have a communication with their legislators, appointment, a meeting, a FaceTime, whatever it is. And today we did set the stage to open the door to build a relationship as to what comes next. And many reach out, could we meet, could we talk? So this is where they set the stage for that. And we get feedback as to when those meetings occur, and they might not have happened otherwise that early. So in September, the meeting, their training was mastering message accountability skills, and also their election of their first year officers. So again, it's a 3-hour training, and in a typical training, I will do the training piece, which is about 30 or 40 minutes, depending upon the subject matter. And then we bring in legislators, the elected legislators. In this room, we have 3 groups, the 3 breakout groups, and then 1 in the north. And we represent both houses, both parties. And the key is that throughout the program, we stress that this is not, the word politics is never engaged in anything we teach. It's policymaking, representation, the voice of young people. This is not something that we teach. So the legislators are wonderful, the alums are wonderful, that the focus is on the education piece and engagement piece. So, and then they elected their officers, and both of them are in Northern Nevada. That doesn't happen very often, but they're lovely. They're wonderful, and I visited with them yesterday. October, again, the assignment, 3 questions and 3 answers. October 15th, the training was optimizing effective listening skills. I engage them as I train them, so often just learn if they're listening, but I'll kind of quiz them a little bit as I teach. What are they learning, or could they give an example or something like that? And these are things that they haven't learned before. November 18th was scheduled to be presentation skills. And as I mentioned to the young people, that I will be creating that 30 or 40 minutes, we have decided we're working on that agenda now. I will blend presentation skills that they didn't get with a town hall meeting. And that's an ideal place to put it because they're going to need that when they do that. That's one of their favorite outside activities, by the way, their town hall meeting. Then the gathering yesterday, so here's a tally in Carson City. All 5 of our Northern youth legislators attended and participated fully. We had 4 NYL alums, and we had 2 legislators and support staff. And then here, I don't know, because we did the tally before everybody showed up, so I don't know what the numbers were today. We thought we knew how many were before it started, but do you have a number, Tina? No. Okay. Well, the number we had before, the number we had of people said they would be here, how's that? Was 10 youth legislators, 8 alums, and 11 legislators, and then staff. So you can tell it's a very high level engagement, and we appreciate everybody showing up. For what's left of the 2026 first year of the term, two-year term, it's on the calendar that you were sent, the 2-year calendar. The activities for the remainder of their term are actually, it's in there. So are there any questions? I know that's a lot, but, and just talking about it, just think about how much it is engaging them. So any questions or comments? No? Is it overwhelming? Is it exciting?
It's exciting.
Okay,
It is.
good, good.
It is
That's,
exciting. And
yay.
you know, I mean, it's just great that the direction that you're putting the youth in, right? I love what you're saying
they're
about policy
amazing.
over politics, and all of how you're really teaching them how to crawl, walk, run, and
Well, and we
steps that are
honor
going
that
forward. I like it.
and we honor them for their level of commitment. It's a huge commitment. So we don't get a lot of applications. However, they're high level and high quality application, because most of our youth legislators historically, I mean, year by year by year, term by term, are very highly engaged in other things. And so they have to set priorities, and often they will request, because if they want to miss a meeting or a training, miss something that's required, they have to get, in law, they have to get permission or an excuse from the chair. And so they will contact Ms. Ashdown, and she forwards it to me. And it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, if they just say, I won't be there, well, that's not quite enough. Yeah. And so they'll say something else has come up. That's not quite enough. But I give them examples. If it's a practice for something, typically I'm not going to excuse it. But if they're in a tournament, or if it's a practice for a football game, or if it's a district something football game, but I still weigh one at a time. And they take it very seriously. They know that more and more, group after group, they take it more and more seriously. They know this is very high level. And as background, and I'm expanding more, but it's important. The reason years ago, and it was probably early in the program, maybe just before Tina came on. It's okay, I call you Tina instead of Ms. Ashdown. Thank you. So we started with the first cohort in 8. So it might have been pretty soon thereafter, maybe when Dr. Okunalim started, we had talked about having mentors who were alums, mentoring, and that didn't work one-on-one. So very quickly that evolved into what made sense to expand the capacity of the program to mentor trainer. So we bring them into each training. We will bring, and it's based on one, they get to pick which one they want to participate in, but often we know what a good fit is. And so we might have somebody who has phenomenal experience advocating in their profession, that they do a lot of advocacy. So they may be one of the trainers in the one how to advocate for the bill. So we bring them back as a voice on the issue, but also it's important for them to be, and this was equally, if not more so, that they are living demonstration. We can't tell them how great this is for you in 10 years. We want the alums to demonstrate what it means. And to the person, when they're at the table, somewhere in their conversation with the youth legislators, they're going to share what they learned here and what it's meant in their lives and how they've grown from this, some skill set because of what they learned here. Because everything we teach is a transferable skill. To the smallest something, it's transferable. It's not just based here. This is the program that grows them bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the last comment I'll make is the young man that's representing my district is amazing, but I distinctly also remember one of the young ladies that didn't make it and how extremely qualified she was too. So certainly an honor for him to be selected because there was really great quality that did not get selected.
And you're speaking from the side of the selector.
Yeah.
And you have the same experience.
Absolutely.
And so, as I say, we don't often get a lot of applications, and no matter how we, put the word out and everything, this is a very select kind of a program. And we've learned that this is this in its own way, the most distinctive youth leadership program in that, one, they get a bill in statute. It's a 2-year term. So many of the things that are integrated into this program make it very, very distinctive. And so just more background in the North, and I'd love to work with the board to do it down South. I'm planting the seed. In the North, over about two-year period or so, when the different countries came through UNR, and I don't know what the program was, but we were requested in the North. The first one, I believe, was Serbia, delegation from Serbia. And through UNR, Nevada Reno, they contacted the legislature that they wanted to come and visit. Well, I didn't know that it wasn't visit the legislature, and they wanted youth legislators or invited us. Anyway, so we had Northern Nevada youth legislators who visited with them. Well, then the next one was 15 delegates from 14 countries. And that's when I realized they needed an additional training on, again, social hosting to take to be top level hosts and know exactly how to entertain the questions. And that, I don't even know the countries there. And then we also had Papua New Guinea and Vietnam, right? And what's common to all of them is that this is the most distinctive youth leadership program that they can find. I also worked with the national NCSL, and we were attempting to find another program like this. And some of them, they have a mock bill, or they don't have a term that's 2 years that mirrors the legislative experience. There's nothing that is the Nevada Youth Legislature out there. So my hope would be that, we would have the bandwidth. I know everybody's busy. It would be lovely for us to see what the possibilities are. I'm going with this, don't you? Of bringing that same kind of interaction south through UNLV, because it would be lovely to have the Southern youth legislators. I mean, yesterday at the gathering, one of our alums, one of his fondest memories was being a host to the delegations that came from other countries. And so I think, process, but I think this would be a lovely opportunity in the South to see if UNLV might entertain the possibility of doing something similar here with international groups to meet here with our youth legislators and learn about the program. Any thoughts? Does that sound, yeah?
I think it's a great idea. And I would love to see those international delegations come through UNLV and partner with them here.
Not worried, we're not taking a vote, but I love seeing the nodding. So this is a good sign. Okay. So it just feels right, and the time feels right. Yes. Okay. So let's, that's the discussion, extended discussion on that agenda item. Let's move on to, doesn't require a vote. Let's move on to agenda item number 5. And this is our scholarship program. And it's lovely. Thank you, Tina, and to Tim, whoever found the information, because I had yellow marks a lot there, and you all filled it in with the question marks that I had. Since 2013, That's a long time. We've been giving NYL scholarships, and these are specific. The pool is not large because the applicants have to have been completed in good standing, completed the NYL, the 2-year program, or they might be appointed to fill a vacancy, but that doesn't happen very often, and in good standing. And this is for college or postgraduate studies. And so again, we don't get a lot of applications, and Dr. Kudalim and I are usually reviewing scholarships. We don't get a lot, but they're within 5 points on a 100-point scale between top to bottom. I mean, they're extraordinarily exceptional. And so we've had different variations of what scholarships amounts we offer. At one point it was $400 or $500 scholarships. And then anyway, then we decided to consolidate and create the NYL scholarship. So I give $1,000 scholarship. And you can see we've given to 49 former youth legislators, $31,000. That, whew, yay. So as you see, you'll see how it was in the most recent, you know, the last spring into the summer. The $2,500 scholarship again was consolidated, and so the contributors, I contributed Senator Woodhouse, Assemblymember Mosca, a former youth legislator Jonathan Oglesby and his wife, and Tina Ashdown. I have commitments. I've talked to the different people, and I have commitments for $2,000 for the 26. And I would love to for you all to consider making contributions if it's possible, so we can bring it back up to $2,500 and go forward with that and offer that up again this year. And my $1,000 one will be there, and that's totally up to your discretion. Let me know if that's something that might interest you. And Zahn has contributed $250 himself, and Grant Gabriel, another alum, $500 to the scholarship. But anyway, currently we have $2,000 pledged for the 2026 scholarship. So it'd be nice to be able to do a $2,500 scholarship again. So just let Tina or me know if that's something that might interest you, if you're able to do that. So any questions or thoughts about the scholarship program? Yes.
When will we be selecting the next group of recipients?
It's about May, isn't it? They apply. Yeah, they apply like end of February. They start applying. That's what I say. That's a start. That's what we have to have it, and then we review the scholarship applications, and then we notify them. Well, pretty quick, because it doesn't take a long time. So probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks later. But by the end of April, right? Because we get them out in May, typically. So it's out before the end of that school year for the next year.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I could tell you, they are, again, a 5-point difference often between all of them, 5 points. I mean, I'm sure Dr. Kudalim had the same issue. You go, I'm just glad there aren't 20 of these. It would be so difficult. So I want to send them all through college, and they're very grateful for the scholarships too. So, yes.
If I may, thank you, Madam Chair. As the inaugural recipient of Your Name Scholarship in 2013, it's been a pleasure to both have been a recipient, help cover books and other supplies when I was in college, and to continue to support the scholarship program for alumni in the years since. It's been very gratifying. I echo the Chair's point that when we look at the applications, again, it comes from a smaller group of potential applicants. They have to have been alumni in good standing, but these are extraordinary. There have been times where we either have alumni who, for whom it's their first time applying, and then we have alumni who are repeat recipients, and it can be really difficult to decide between two extraordinary applications. Do we want to provide the scholarship to one or the other? But it's always very gratifying to learn what alumni are up to, what they're doing, and how they're applying what they learned from their NYL experience to their studies and their extracurricular activities once they're in college. And so I'm grateful to support the scholarship now as an alum. And I echo the chair's point that anything that we can all do to continue supporting and contributing will be very beneficial to alumni moving forward.
And to piggyback that, again, all the ways we can continue the influence and the impact of the NYL with these amazing extensions of the program. In that application, one of the questions deals with how, what they learned in the youth legislature, has impacted how they're moving forward, or, we keep that program as part of the conversation, even in the application process. So, yeah. He has made a donation in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 250. So 250 from Senator Steinbeck. Okay, so let's move on to agenda item number 7, the election of officers. Oh, no, 6, I'm sorry. I had written notes and now let me go through my notes because I just did this before the meeting. We need to schedule our next meeting, and this one, we will have agenda items that may show up, but this most specific part of that will be crucial, and that will be reviewing the budget that we will submit to the legislature for inclusion in the legislative budget that will go to the legislature. So we need to have, Ms. Ashdown and I were sitting down prior to see what would be the most ideal day, meeting day, so that we can be prepared to have something ready to send to the legislature so that they can include it in the legislature's budget before the 27th session. And we need to do it early enough so that they have that opportunity to consider it. So we were looking at dates, and we came up with May 13 as a meeting date, but we'd like to know what time would work best for everybody. Yes, Senator Scheiber.
Afternoons are best for me.
We were figuring afternoon. So what would be a good time? Because I know people work and have other commitments. You will see it beforehand, so it might not take heavy duty, but we need to be prepared that it might take some thoughtful conversation. Okay, so 3 or 4?
Sounds good.
3. And then if we need to go beyond, we're not running past the 5 o'clock out the door time. Okay. So 3 p.m. on May 13th, we will get the information to you in advance for consideration. We'll be working on that and making sure that we get as many kinks out of it as the questions answered, so that it's easier for you to understand and we can explain it. We don't have a raw form of it yet, so thank you for understanding and agreeing to that. Now on to agenda item number 7, election of our officers. So let me explain that we are in the 2025-2027 interim. However, we typically elect officers in January, so we elect officers for a year. So we're electing officers for it's really not 25, 26, it's really for 26, but we're in the interim of piece that overlaps those because of how their year works out. But this is typically January to January annual elections. So it's time for our annual election. So in statute, we only require chair and vice chair. However, we have in practice also added secretary and treasurer. So that's why you'll see 4 offices up for availability, even though we're only required in statute to do 2. So I will accept a nomination for chair. Dr. Akudalim.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to nominate retired Senator Valerie Weiner to serve as chair of the NYL board.
Thank you. Do we have any additional nominations? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous support among members present. Now we'll move on to vice chair. We have a nomination for vice chair. And again, this is someone who would step in We're only required to have one board meeting a year. However, again, in practice, pretty long while back, we found that it was more valuable to meet twice a year so that we can engage at a higher level and feel like we're really part of it. And we could do any other time. We don't want to, impair your other commitments, but we want you to have a level of engagement that you feel great about what we're doing. Because today I've had to do a 1-year summary instead of would have been a 6-month summary. And so the vice chair may need to step in. So who I would accept a nomination for vice chair? That's Senator Scheibel.
I'd like to nominate retired Senator Joyce Woodhouse to serve as vice chair.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Please note unanimous support among the members present. And now we'll move on to secretary. I would accept a nomination for secretary. And again, this is not a role that requires a lot because we have a staff person who's phenomenal. Do you hear that, Tim? Phenomenal. Supporting us with a big smile throughout every experience. But it is something that helps represent the body. Yeah, and could step in if needed. So do we have a nomination for secretary? Which one do you want? Which one do you want?
You're the boss.
I'll nominate Senator Steinbeck as the secretary.
Do we have any additional nominations? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Please note unanimous support. Our new Senator Steinbeck is now our secretary. See how quickly you can move through this board process. It's awesome. Do we have any nominations for treasurer?
I would nominate Senator Scheibel.
Okay, we have the nomination from Senator Steinbeck for Senator Scheibel. Do we have any additional nominations? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Please note unanimous support for all those present. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for your consideration for serving in office. We appreciate that. And again, in January, we'll do this again as part of the interim process anyway, but we do elect every January. So under agenda item number 8, comments, questions, and discussions, I had forgotten to add to, I'm going to take the first slot and then anybody else who'd like to add. I typically would have this, but for some reason it just slipped away. From the very beginning, or pretty much early on, maybe in 2009, I started entering our annual trainings in communications competitions. And it wasn't necessarily driven by bragging rights. It's to demonstrate that third-party evaluators, we'll never meet them, we'll never know them, objective evaluators recognize the value of the work we're doing. So every year there are 4 international contests that I enter these binders in, create the cover letter and do all the paperwork. And so I want to give you an update on our recognition through these organizations. So through the Communitas Awards, this is my favorite because it really is about community service and community engagement. And this is an international recognition. We have earned 19 awards. For the Communicator, we've earned 14. For the Hermes Creative Awards, it's either 26 or 27. We still have to reconcile which one that is. It's one of the two. And for the Marcom Awards, it's 25. Also in the early years, the Nevada Press Women and the National Federation of Press Women, between the two, we earned 7 awards. So that's either 91 or 92. But for those 7, the other, it's international recognition for our program. So I just wanted you to know that. So are there any other questions or comments from our board? How did it feel to be here at your first meeting?
Yes, Senator.
Yes, please.
Oh, I didn't know if you could hear. I didn't know if you could hear me. This is Gail Anderson. I'm on the phone in this meeting. And I just wanted to say how pleased I am to be the public member on this body. I'm read all the materials and am so impressed and excited about all of the opportunities these young people have. I've worked with students in civics education, primarily through the Secretary of State's office when I was there and through my own career many years ago teaching. But it's excellent. And I would just ask, is it okay? I was thinking about attending the February training in Las Vegas in person. Is that allowable to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please join us.
Okay.
All board members.
Okay. Thank you.
Please join us so that you can really experience up close and personal what in real time how they're learning life-changing skills. I mean, I had 2 alums show up. Had three had private conversations with me about things that they have taken away from the program, and they span different years, way different years, and things that they learned and still had questions because they're still learning. And so we plant great seeds among these leaders. Let me ask you, please, because we lost you on the Zoom, have you been able to attend the entire meeting?
Yes. I've been here and voting, and yes, I just couldn't do the Zoom, but I'm just out of town, so I don't know if I have an outdated Zoom version or something. I couldn't get on the audio, but we'll remedy that when I'm home at my office. So thank you.
If I may ask, and I don't know if this is a protocol, but to engage our new board member representing the public fully, help me here, Tina, because I just heard engaged in the voting as well. Did you vote with the majority in the votes that we took?
Yes, all of them.
Okay, so please note our member of the public was fully present for the entire meeting and did vote with the majority, if you would, for the record. Tim, please, our secretary. Okay, thank you so much for letting us know and for your contributions. We look forward to seeing you and any board members who would like to come to any of the meetings and trainings that we run, because they're very exciting to watch them grow in real time. So any comments on any other comments or questions up to this point or going forward, or anything you'd want to see on our meeting beside the budget at our May meeting? Dr. Okuda-Lim?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to express my thanks to the elected legislators and to the staff at LCB for their steadfast ongoing support of this amazing program throughout the years. To the chair's point about how the knowledge and skills learned continue to live on in our careers as alumni moving forward. As I'm chatting with current youth legislators and recent alumni, including today, I often go back to how many of the skills that I learned when the program was in its early years, 2009 to 2011, are skills that I've continued to apply in my own, not just my professional career, but with family, friends, and my academic work. And at the same time, I'm also still learning. Now having the opportunity as an alum and as a board member to support during the trainings, return as a mentor trainer, and observe, it's also been helpful for me to both refresh those skills and also partake in newer trainings that were not part of the program and I participated. So it's been a learning experience for me as an alum to continue staying involved. And I'm really grateful to the chair, to the other board members, and again, to the elected legislators and all the staff here with the legislature for their support of the program.
And if I may piggyback that, with your permission, when we created the board and created the 2-year term in the 2011 session, not Dr. Okuda-Lim then, Zahn Okuda-Lim then became the first, one of the first members, and you've been on the board since its creation.
Yes, since 2013 when that spot was opened up.
Because we had to roll it out, yes. Yeah, anyway, so thank you for your service and your continued interest. So we're at that agenda item number 9, public comment. If there are any people in the north who have an interest or a question or curiosity you want to share? And it looks like we don't have anybody. I don't see anyone in the South popping to the microphone to chat with us. Are there any people on the telephone who would like to share a thought?
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. We have no callers on the line at this time.
Thank you so very much. And so before we adjourn, I want to take a moment to share my thank yous with everybody. A little emotional moment here, because I've been with the program since we voted to create it, actually. So it's been a while. But LCB has always been there supporting it. I share that Tina Ashdown is, I believe, our 8th program facilitator. So we had some rocky times. We had to keep starting over with the staff support, but they didn't quit on us, did not give up on us. And that's been, you were hired in 16, but you started with the program in 17. Well, I thought you said, no, I knew you were, but I didn't think you came on right away. Oh, okay, because I remember when we sat at the table, we sat at the table that first time, and she was taking notes and making notes, and she was jumped right in. I remember that. And what an asset. There aren't words to describe the level of contribution that Tina Ashdown makes to this program and continues to make. And we do share a lot of laughs too, I must admit that. And sometimes we finish each other's sentences and do a lot of texting and a lot of emailing and a lot of FaceTiming. We do things in real time. We don't let them get out of hand. And when we're curious, we share our curiosities and grow the program. So thank you so much. And the support that we receive from LCB in the South and in the North is also, it can't be compared to any other kind of a program for the high level of commitment that everyone makes. Our audio, visual, and hearings, I have to get used to that. I'm used to the other descriptor, so I have to read that. That ensures that we have this level of connection and that the continuity of the program statewide can be maintained even in challenging times, because especially when we had pandemic, to ensure that we could continue the program virtually. And it was interesting, the high level of commitment that the young people made. No one was absent. That was so important for them, but we didn't miss a beat. And it's because we had the technological skills and support and created those opportunities. And the board, I'm so grateful to have people who get it, who have the passion for it. And even though it's brand new, I already feel it. It's already growing. I could tell. And yet we have a very tenured, and we have Senator Scheibel, who's been dedicated from the minute she came on the board. And of course, Senator Woodhouse. And we, of course, we have, 2 new members who are extraordinary and already sharing the energy to grow us even more engaged. So again, we are only required to meet once, but we do meet twice. And if there are other reasons that you feel it's important for us to meet, we will do it. It doesn't need to be, my idea. If you have something you want us to discuss or work on, sometimes the biggest ideas come up when we're not on one of those 2 scheduled meetings. Then let's have a meeting and let's talk about it and move it forward, because we have such an amazing program and everybody shines when they talk about it. Things don't get better than that. And they share their light. So there being no other business before the NYL board, this meeting is adjourned. Is it 2 for adjournment? Oh.